Good morning, family. Good morning, Ekaro. This is April R. Silver. This is Ascending. I am April R. Silver. I definitely want to welcome everybody to Ascending here on the Marc Lamont Hill Network. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're watching on Mark's YouTube or Mark's Twitter, thank you. You are welcome here. We go live every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. This is episode number 55. We got a lot to talk about, family. We got two guests, but the featured guest, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to introduce her in just a moment. But this original episode number 55 is about us celebrating Black women as the nemesis of racists. This is about celebrating women who bring that fire, who push back, who do the things, who's a part of a certain kind of lineage amongst Black folks, our freedom fighters, and we are welcoming to the stage a little bit later, not right now. You know, we got segments to do. We are going to be welcoming Keandria Damone. We are so excited that she's going to be with us today for a full discussion on Black women who push back, Black women who bring the fire. So she'll be with us. Make sure that you stay locked in because even after that, we have some things to talk about. But right now, what I want you to do is to go in the comments if you are a subscriber to Marc Lamont Hill Network, formerly known as Marc Lamont Hill Official. If you're subscribed to his YouTube channel, then tell us where you are ascending. You can only comment if you are subscribed. But every week for the past year, we have been telling people to tell us from where they are watching, what city, what town, what country, because we've had people watch this show Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern from all over the world. And we are very, very grateful for that. Speaking of gratitude, we are grateful to Marc Lamont Hill himself, an old friend, colleague, business partner, for granting us this opportunity to bring to the forefront what we do here at my company, AKILA Work Song. So shout out to Marc Lamont Hill Network, the entire team. Shout out to my A team, who was Drake, Aaron, Kevin, Sandy, Dwayne, and Daryl. And by extension, for this show, Rolando and Cynthia, we got some regulars that we're really excited about. So everybody just lock in and tell people to tune in. We are live right now. And speaking of what we want you to tune into, we want you to know that you can support independent Black media, the movement of which Marc is a part of. You can support that movement, Black media movement. Y'all know it's critical, it's important how we're going to live without these independent movements. But go to Marc's Patreon. He's at patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official. I'll say it again for those who are listening and not watching. Support this independent Black media movement by becoming a member of patreon.com/Marc Lamont Hill official and become a member there. But you could also support by subscribing to this channel, becoming a member like I am for the past several years. You can do that on YouTube as well. You can follow Marc, all of those things. You can follow me. We'll get into that later on. But definitely, we want you to know that Ascending is here every Saturday live, Eastern, and Marc is doing the damn thing over on all of his channels, which is, I think, across the platforms. It's got to be over 1 million by now. But let's get that work done, family. Tell us from where you are ascending. The first segment that we're going to do is every week. Y'all know we do bookmark. Every week we shout out a Black author. This week's shout out is Michael Harriot. The book is Black AF. I got to say this for my mother, right? I got to say this for my mother who is approaching 80. She won't mind me saying that, right? I got to she watches the show more regularly now, you know, after the fact, but I need to say this for people like my mother and those who were like, what is AF? Because she would read this title as Black AF history. Black as fuck. Trigger warning for those who are sensitive around language. You shouldn't watch this show, maybe. If language is you know that kind of language is offensive or whatever, don't watch. But Black AF or Black as Fuck History, that is the bookmark for this week. Michael Harriot. The subtitle is the unwhitewashed story of America by Michael Harriot. Oh man, typo guys, fix that for me. It's supposed to be 2023. That's on us. Oh, I can't. I'll fix it. Sorry. The book came out in 2023. New York Times bestseller, but more important than that, NAACP Image Award nominee. More important than, I mean, the New York Times bestseller thing is important, but we love it, and that's more important than anything else. So that's the bookmark for today. We're going to talk about where you can see Michael Harriot live and in person. We have some comps to give away, but you got to stay to the end of the show to see how you can get that, because he's going to be at Medgar Evers College with Nicole Hannah Jones on Wednesday, the 25th. We'll talk about that, and we have complimentary tickets for that very, very special event. But stay tuned to the end. So what we want you to do, though, you can get more information via the website for Michael Harriot. For those who are listening and not watching, the website is Michael Michael Harriot HARRIOT.com. For those who are listening and not watching, I'm really excited to be able to see him next week in Brooklyn. So stay tuned. Now, we always talk about Black authors. We do that every week for sure. But when we talk about Black authors, we want you to go get your books from Black owned bookstores, including Uncle Bobby's in Philadelphia, UncleBobby's.com. Every week, we remind you that you need not go get your books on Amazon.com or whatever. There are Black people, Black institutions, Black bookstores. Last week, we talked about the National Association for Book Publisher. That's a whole organization. There's close to 200 Black owned bookstores across the country. Uncle Bobby's is one of them, owned by Marc Lamont Hill, the owner of this channel, the one who affords us this opportunity every week to elevate your consciousness and to give you some practical things that you can do to support this movement. So if you're in Philadelphia, get thee to Uncle Bobby's. I've been there. It's a wonderful store. But guess what? There's another store that we want to highlight, and this is where we get specific beyond Mark Lamont Hill's bookstore, the North Star Books and Bar. I'll say it again. The North Star Books and Bar is in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Recent opening, like a couple of months ago, opening. It's co-founded by Nicole Hannah Jones. We are so excited to share this new Black-owned bookstore, co-founded. She didn't go into this venture by herself. Nicole Hannah Jones. Guess what? She's going to be in Brooklyn at Medgar Evers College on Wednesday. If you're in New York, Brooklyn, Newark, New Jersey, DC, get thee to the National Black Writers Conference in Washington. Where is it? In Brooklyn. I don't know why I said DC. But we have tickets to that event. But so for right now, there's continuity here. The North Star Books and Bar is in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. It's on Macon, as a matter of fact, for those who are familiar with Bed-Stuy, right? Or familiar with Brooklyn, where I am live streaming from right now. So that's a regular part of what we do here. We also do in memoriam every week. We shout out a person of African ancestry who has passed more recently. And the in memoriam, this is our way of lifting up and putting in real time, if you will, um, the respect that we have for those who've come before us. So, as some of you might know, Miss Kiki Shepherd passed away just this week, I believe. I think it had to have been just this week, within the past couple of days. If you don't know, Miss Kiki Shepherd was a singer, a dancer, and a long-time co-host of Showtime at the Apollo. Yes, the Apollo in Harlem. We want to offer our condolences and our sympathies and our heartfelt positive energy to her friends and family. Of course, the Apollo family, the Harlem family. Um, I like to say that Showtime at the Apollo is a cultural global phenomenon that is known as a talent show, a local talent show that it's just historic and iconic. And she was the co-host of that. So her connection to the Harlem community, to the Black global community, to the Apollo Theater, one of our friends and partners and clients at AKILA Work Songs, we just offer our condolences. And if you didn't see the news report, then you know it now. May her spirit soar. May she rest in peace. I think we want. Oh, we want to go to Black Spaces. We got one more, right? What we got? What we got? We got the uh Kev, what we got? National Black Press Week. That just ended. National Black Press Week ended yesterday. Happy first full day of spring, by the way. Um, I want you all to know that there is a National Black Press Week. I want you all to know that there is a National Black Press Day celebrating the founding of the Black Press in the 1800s. The National Black Press Day is March 16th annually. National Black Press Week is March 16th through the 20th. Um, obviously every year. The National Newspaper Publishers Association is the organization that lifts up that week, that work, that legacy of fighting injustice through the written word, through journalists, through editors. So if you didn't know, now you know. So the National Black Press Week, I think for the past couple of years, has been held at Howard University. I say that with my full chest. Howard University, my alma mater, and the alma mater of every single producer on this show. But anyway, National Newspaper Publisher Association. The website is there. Check it out. Get to know what Black journalists are doing. I think that's a good segue. I think that's a good segue to our guest. If we are ready, we're going to bring on our guest, and then I'll turn the banners over to the producers. Are we ready to bring on Keandria Damone? I don't see her. Is she in the studio?
She's about to be.
Okay. We are really excited to bring her on. It's there we are. Hey sis.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm better now. Good to see you. Good to see you. I was just about to say that there are a number of reasons why we wanted to be in conversation with you for your stellar work, which we're going to talk about in full. But it's Women's History Month, right? It's lift up a black woman every day. So we definitely wanted to introduce you to some, to reinforce for others your work, your activism, your entrepreneurship, why you give a damn, like what we say here often at Ascending. We connect with people who give a damn, about our life, our health, our wellness. And I think it's fair to say that you are the accountability queen. You are the accountability queen in terms of holding people accountable, specifically racists and hate mongers and people who would rather see us hanging from trees and people who would rather see black people dead and don't give a fuck about black women and children and all of that. So we'll talk about some of the activism work itself, namely the work that you do, and it manifests you as a social media giant, and you using that tool to hold people accountable. But let's just start with what is good and rich about this work, why we choose to give a damn. I want to get a little bit into you sharing with us what is this is not your ascending moment, right? So we're not going there, but why do you give a damn about black people and black women and black children? Like, where did that start? How is that a part of you?
Well, first of all, I grew up in Alabama. So, I pretty much have been fighting this fight my entire life. My personality type is very, I wouldn't say self-righteous, but righteous. Like when I believe in something, I believe in it wholeheartedly and I will be loud about it, right? So I've always just been really empathetic since I was a child. I just had a really high emotional intelligence. That it's just my personality type. That's who I am. I've just always been that way. And seeing a lot of injustices happen in the household or around me, because I came from an environment that was very toxic, very chaotic. Living in Alabama, period, as a Black person can be toxic and chaotic, right? So growing up, I really saw a lot of injustices, and I was always, um, I feel like I was always told there was something wrong with me, right? And as an adult, and as I've grown, especially as an activist, I've realized I was reacting to my environment, right? So I was reacting to seeing all of the trauma and chaos around me because I actually gave a damn, right? So now, as an activist and having my own child who I've removed from that environment, like I have dug myself up from dirt, do you hear me? To move from that environment and to create an environment for him that is safe and that is free of that chaos. And here we are, 2024, now 2026. I'm seeing the chaos starting to trickle in, right? So the biggest thing for me has always been that, well, he's not so little anymore, but that Black boy who calls me mom, he is a huge, huge driving factor behind everything I do because my sole purpose has been to keep him safe, to create an environment for him that was safe, and to never have him come up in the chaos that I came up with. So it got to a point where it's like, well, I'll be damned if I'm gonna scrape myself up from racist ass Alabama and move all the way to Atlanta and build a safe life for me and my child, only for this asshole in the White House to snatch that away. I'm
Right.
not gonna do that.
Right.
So
Right.
so
That's
essentially that's what it was, is maintaining safety, not just for my own child, but for other Black
yeah.
kids who have to grow up.
Right. And I heard you talking about Alabama, and I got chills. My mother's from Alabama, right? Trinity, Alabama, and then Decatur, Alabama, right? Uh,
Really? That's right.
are you serious? Like that close?
I'm from Huntsville. Yeah, that's right up the street.
Right, right, right. I remember her always telling me when they were that she like in a log cabin. My that's
I,
where she was born, right? And then when
I
they moved
believe
to
it.
Decatur, she was like, that was big time. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So, but I say that to say, um, to shout out to my mother who's still with us. When she graduated from high school, within 2 weeks she moved to New York. Within 2 weeks, because she was like, I got to get the
Got to
fuck
get
up out
out of
of here.
there.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm hearing you talk about that chaotic environment. Was it racism and sexism? Was it racism and other things? I would imagine it was all intertwined. It was all of those things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What I'll say I have realized now, again, sometimes you have to remove yourself from the environment to realize how toxic and damaged it really is. And a lot of people would like to tell you, oh, this is 2026, but these are people who are descendants of people who lived in the Jim Crow South. Like my
Yes.
actual grandfather was a sharecropper. So you
Yes.
can imagine just the damage that was done to our families,
Yeah.
intentionally, systematically done to our families. They are still experiencing a lot of that, and they are years and years and years behind, especially mindset, not just with the systems of justice and things like the legislature, stuff like that. Not just that. I mean, their mindset there
I
is so behind and it's so damaged.
yes. I say that all the time because when people are like, well, how could this is to your point, right? This is
Hmm.
2026. How could this happen? I was like, because the grandchildren and the great great grandchildren and the uncles and aunts of those who used to take their picnic baskets to watch a lynching, right?
Hmm.
Everybody, did we do a shout out on about lynching? Are you familiar with the book about lynching where they have the pictures? We got to do that like next week. There's a book, a photographic book that tells the history of lynching in pictures. So you don't see nothing. Every time you turn the page, somebody's hanging from a tree. My
Jesus.
point is, I'm getting emotional. They're the white people who was there with their apples and oranges and lunch baskets. Their descendants are still living. So I'm sorry.
Hmm.
You're so
Yeah.
spot.
Hmm. I think that's a lot of what's happening in this country in general, and people are denying it. Like that, a lot of y'all's granddaddies was going to the picnic to watch a black man be killed. So now we're supposed to believe he didn't pass any of that down to you.
Right,
You're not
exactly.
biased at all.
Right. The black men, the black women, and the children. And it wasn't always from trees. Sometimes it was from light poles. You know what I mean? So you get
Mm-hmm.
into like the grimy hatred visually. Kevin or Aaron, if you all could find that book, I think it's called About Lynching. It came out in the 90s. But Keandria, just so grateful. That's why I was so excited. Like I would imagine I'm in auntie status right now, right? You can tell by the gray hair, right? It's
That was
it's
beautiful. I love your hair. That's one of the
thank
first things I thought when I saw a video of you.
Oh wow, thank you, thank you. And it
Hmm.
used to be way shorter than this, right? I'm letting my locks grow back. My point is to say, the love that I have for you, not just as a black woman only or as an auntie status, but it is so reassuring. Like my soul is like expanded when I know the generation or generations under me are fighting a fight, just like my elders are like, look at y'all. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Really
Hmm.
important.
Thank
I
you.
want to talk about some of the specifics, right? We know that technology is your thing. We know that you're an entrepreneur, and the accountability, the drive that you have to not let people get away with that, kind of was like 2025 when there was this white woman that was getting all of this money. Well, the first violation was the original sin in this story is that she called this, it was recorded on video, this child, 5 year old, called that child a nigga, right? And so, and then she started raising money, and you were like, oh, hell no.
Hmm.
And that what turned into a viral moment because you use your technology expertise. For those who don't know, you use your
Hmm.
technology expertise to chase the money. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, of course. So the first thing I want to say is that a lot of people have stopped following that story after that whole situation, but that lady actually has been charged. She has been charged criminally, and she is going to trial in April. So in April, we are going to be pushing that the judge give her the maximum punishment because honestly, what she was charged wasn't enough for what she did. But we're going to push that at the very least she received the maximum punishment. So y'all will
That's
be hearing
next month.
about that again.
That's next month.
She's going to, I believe, April 17th, her trial starts. So
That's a
we'll
month
start.
from now. Yes.
Yeah.
Got
So
it. So bad.
she's going to trial, and we intend to continue to hold her and everybody involved accountable because if we hadn't pushed the way we did, I don't believe there would have been any criminal charges. I don't believe there would have been any consequences of that situation was a huge turning point for me and a lot of other people in this country because everyone felt so defeated. It was like, okay, it's bad enough, that these racist people are emboldened by this new administration, but not only are they emboldened, now we've crossed the line into them being rewarded for it right in our face. So with that campaign, I think just the fact that somebody stepped up, somebody said, hey, I'm not going to take it lying down. I'm going to do something about it. So that's one of the things that I primarily took from that campaign was that it infused hope into a lot of people. It lit a new fire. So many people were defeated and they were like, you know what? We actually can fight back. And another important thing to note about that situation specifically is it was the first civil rights movement of its kind, right? So there are people overseas now, like a law professor, I think in Poland, wrote a peer review article about it because it gave a blueprint how to fight back in the digital space. Because primarily in civil rights, we're boots on the ground. We're mobilizing, we're protesting, we're boycotting, right? Which all of those are important too. But that situation was the first time we saw true disruption 100% digitally, just a viral
Yeah.
social media campaign.
So
And so,
let
go
me
ahead.
share with the audience though, like very specifically, when you
Mhm.
saw that this woman, what was her name? Shiloh Hendricks.
Shiloh Hendricks.
Yeah. When you saw that she was raising money on these crowdfunding platforms, you used your technology, your tech expertise to find out who very specifically those
Hmm.
platforms were,
Yep.
contacted them because in a sense, in essence, you were saying y'all are collecting and distributing money for hateful speech, to
Hmm.
say the least. So
Which
you,
is illegal.
which is illegal, yes. You covered everything, but this is what I wanted, for those who didn't know, I wanted to say that part. But your article, in essence, I thought was really profound because in essence, everybody go to essence.com. Y'all know how I feel about Essence. Um, Go and search that. But this is the part that stood out. You were very plain and clear to say this is not about me. This is not about this one incident. This is about what we can do. This is an example of what happens when the collective comes. Another example,
Hmm.
a spring 2025 example.
Exactly.
Another one, when people come together. Why was it important? Elaborate on why that was important for people to understand that part.
Because one of the things I've noticed, social media is a huge tool, a useful tool with social justice and civil rights, right? But I also noticed that when it's online, I feel like people are a step removed from it, and a lot of people they were treated it like it was a 50 cent beef with somebody, or they were treating it like it was a football game. They literally treated it like it was Deandria versus Shiloh, right? They were treating it like it was a public beef and not a social justice movement. And they were also attaching themselves to me. And I feel like they do this to Black women a lot. They were attaching themselves to me as this hero that I did not ask to be. They were like, Keandria, what are we gonna do? 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 I told y'all what to do. I'm not going to do it. We're collectively going to do it and we're gonna make a difference. So I feel like people are too comfortable um heaping labor onto Black women and expecting us to fix it. And a lot of people were seeing me as a hero, which that's an honor. I'm not complaining about that. But realistically, in that situation, I was not a hero, I was an organizer. And it's important to note the difference because an organizer cannot do it by themselves. I'm not Batman. I couldn't just swoop in and stop all of that. Y'all have to mobilize and y'all have to be active and stay involved to make sure we get the outcome that we want. So that's
Yeah,
why I was intentional about, saying it's not just me because I need y'all's help. Don't sit here and look to me to fix it by myself.
right. You were very clear about that, and I respect that because that's a principle in organizing that speaks to the character of the organizers. Those who carry that, that's a fundamental principle, right? Because we're prior to social media, our leaders and people out there who might have been identified as the face of the movement, some of them had egos. Some of them masqueraded as a social justice warrior when really and truly they was about that money. They was about self-aggrandizement. They would do all of those things. So to be the organizer that casts that aside and keeps the mission and the people at the forefront is a test of character, right? And so I think that that's really, really important because that predates social media. Social media
Mhm.
exacerbated it. You know what I mean? It's an easier tool, but I respect that about you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
The part about Black women, you where people heap everything on us, and there's this expectation that we're going to do it. Zora Neale Hurston, as we all know, said, "Black women are the muse of the world," right? And their eyes are watching God. We are the muse. Um, what is your how do you very practically? I know you're dressed, but how do you very practically take that off of you? You know what I mean? And other practical ways besides just letting people know that that's not mine. We got to do this together.
I say no. In fact, I say hell no often. And it's that simple, and I won't do it. No.
Right.
I'm very, very loud about my boundaries and I'm very firm in my boundaries. If I don't want to do it, there is nothing you can do to make me. And I think the it's I don't want to say it's overly simple, but sometimes it's as simple as just setting that boundary, saying no, this
Yeah.
isn't that's not mine to carry. I'm not gonna carry it. Boy, does it piss people off.
Yeah.
Now that it pisses people off, and I believe that's one of the things about me that agitates some people and makes them uncomfortable because I am so firm in my boundary, whatever it is. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I don't feel it, you're not gonna get me to say I feel it. You're not gonna get me to apologize for something when I don't feel like I was wrong. I'm just very firm in my boundaries, and I think a lot of Black women specifically would be surprised at the total difference, the colossal difference it will make in your life. And not only if you just start saying no, but don't be remorseful about it. It's okay to say no. I think that it actually goes all the way back to slavery and maybe even further than that. But from my perspective, it started like during slavery, the role that the Black woman played. They used us as nurturers, like the perpetual nurturer of everybody, not only our own household or spouses or partners, but also we're taking care of their babies, often used and exploited even sexually by the slave owner. I believe that Black women have just been exploited for labor for so long. Even modern Black women now have been conditioned to believe that we are supposed to carry everything for everybody and that we're somehow in the wrong when we say no. So I think it starts with unlearning that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you so much. We all have stories. Many of us have stories about, and it's an old narrative that mothers raise their, what is it? Mothers raise their sons or something. I'm getting it mixed up, but it's this narrative that as mothers, because we're often the head of the household, we coddle our sons,
Mhm.
right? And
Adultify the girl.
yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. I couldn't get the words right, but you know
Hmm.
exactly what I was
Yeah,
talking about. And to your point though, which I respect and love and embrace, there is a divine feminine principle that recognizes boundaries, not as a cop out. We're not talking about people that don't want to do shit because, oh, I got my boundaries, I got my guidelines, I got my guardrails. Like, I think we have to make the distinctions between copping out
hmm,
being like that's your task. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I think there's a difference. But I like that you at I dare say this young age. I don't not that your age matters because this is an ageless conversation, but that you know that now. You know what I mean? And I think that's very distinctive to my. I'm all day Gen X, right? If we're gonna
hmm,
put labels on things, and some of us felt like, or still feel like, um, this politics of being nice is important, or I just saw you roll your eyes, which I love. You know what I
don't
mean?
get me started.
But go ahead, get started. Go ahead, take it away. Take it away.
Just the
Why'd you roll your
respect.
eyes?
It's a literal disgust at the idea of respectability politics, specifically with Black women. And
Yep.
I am so adamant about rejecting that because it was taught to us so that people could exploit us.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why we're happy to be in communication and letting this be the jump start of a relationship, right? Like we don't do one offs. You can't build. I mean, you can build, one could build and be a part of a movement with one offs or whatever, because if it's about the work, then let it be about the work. But I think the bonds are tighter and the rope is stronger. You know what I mean? If
I
we
agree.
are in relationship and it's just not one offs, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
We are a part of a movement, you
mhm.
know? And so I thank you. I want you to talk about, you have a YouTube series that was recently launched. Tell us, that's where you're going in some investigative journalism. Let's talk about that, and we'll put the banner on the screen.
So the new YouTube series that I'm hosting, and shout out to my producer Sebastiana, who reached out to me. She's very close with Attorney Gerald Griggs, who is a heavy hitter in civil rights. If you don't know Attorney Gerald, if you know the names like the Ben Crumps, you should absolutely know Attorney Griggs. He does remarkable work. He has led so many movements and protests and won so many civil rights cases. So she approached me and said that she wanted to put us in the same space because we're two different sides essentially of the same coin, whereas he's an attorney, right? So he brings the facts and he has tried these cases. He has seen the ins and outs of the legal system. And I am very passionate and very outspoken about holding people accountable, right? So he's done it in the legal field, and I have done it in the digital space. And so we're essentially merging the two. So the way I describe this podcast is it's true crime meets civil rights, because there are parts of these cases that people are afraid to touch. They're afraid to comb through the autopsy results. They're afraid to ask the direct questions. And we're doing a lot of that on this podcast. And it's not something I honestly ever would have expected myself to do. If you had asked me like 5, 10 years ago, actually 10 years ago, if you had asked me 10 years ago about that subject matter, I would have because I'm super empathetic. Like when you mentioned the book about lynching, my heart gets so heavy with stuff like that. So it's not something I ever expected to be doing, but it is so necessary. And I feel like the need for these families and these victims to get justice, it outweighs any discomfort I might have had.
Yeah. Yeah, you standing on sound principle, and I love it. I love it. For those who are listening and not watching, the YouTube channel that you should be subscribing to right now is Justice for the Series. The four is FOR, Justice for the Series. So subscribe to that after you finish subscribing to Marc Lamont Hill Network. But thank you for this, for this work. Before we give you the opportunity to have your last word, Keandria, is there any upcoming thing that you would like to share here?
One of the biggest things is the Shiloh Hendricks trial is
Yeah.
coming up.
Okay.
Absolutely. The Shiloh Hendricks trial is coming up. There's also the World Natural Hair Show in Atlanta. I'm going to be a panelist there.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that's in April as well, though, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
April the 18th and 19th. So that's coming up. And other than that, just watching my social media for the topics that are not getting the media attention that they deserve. I'm very intentional about using my platform to cover topics that or specific cases of civil rights and injustice. Because I don't
Yeah.
even want to say social justice. If I can be honest, I'm just going to be real. There's a reason I call myself a civil rights activist versus a social justice activist, because
Okay.
I've learned in the past year that when you say social justice, a lot of other groups think that they're supposed to be your priority too. And so I'm intentional about saying civil rights because I want them to know it's about Black people. And I'm
Right.
not going to apologize for that. So just
Right.
watching for specifically the issues that impact Black people that I will
Yes.
be highlighting on my platform.
That clarity is stellar. For those, put it back up, guys. For those who are listening and not watching, the the Instagram is Kiandria. Keandria, follow that, and then Fem finds ATL. Right, that's where you got
Mhm.
merch. Right,
Yes. Yeah.
good, 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 good. I'm gonna have to get me some. I want to give you the last word. I always say on this show, my grandmother taught me, who's from Suffolk, Virginia, may she rest in peace, may more silver. We don't say goodbye, we say so long. So this is not goodbye, it's just like until next time. But tell us about your ascending moment in life, in work, in your activism, in tech, whatever it is the thing that was a breakthrough moment where you just felt like the crud just fall off of you.
So I think I might have experienced a new ascending moment. I just these past couple of days, this past week, honestly. So my ascending moment that I would initially have mentioned would be back in 2024 and 2025. I started being very vocal about calling out and exposing and reporting a lot of abuse that was happening in my immediate family. And that moment to me opened my eyes up to the fact that there was so much happening that was being excused and that was being swept under the rug. And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. Right. So, again, when me growing up in Alabama, a lot of it involved misogyny. A lot of it did involve racism, and just these toxic family dynamics. So that initially got me involved in activism as I documented my journey to exposing all of that abuse that was happening. And after the Shiloh Hendricks thing, I've just kept that ball rolling and holding, I started building a following and using that following to hold racist white people accountable because I have this platform, right? And I'm honestly a troll. And people really like that about me. And some people they just can't understand or conceptualize why that's so effective. But these people are not owed an intelligent conversation. Okay. I'm not about to give you a dissertation about why you shouldn't hate me for the color of my skin. I'm gonna talk about your mama and humiliate you. And that's what works, right? So I've been using my platform to do that. And it does piss a lot of people off. And a lot of people call me a bully. And here recently, there were a lot of people accusing me of being a bully. Now, mind you, I'm bullying racist people. But they're like, no, not like that. They're the white moderates that MLK warned us about, right? They're, oh God, call out the racism, but focus on the racism. Don't bully them, right? So here recently, I pissed a lot of white people off. A lot of white and non-black people of color, I pissed them off to the point where they led an entire viral campaign. Like I was the number one trending topic on threads for days because they were trying to hold me accountable. And it led to my account being suspended. And here is I would say is a new ascending moment for me was the way my community mobilized and they were like, hell no. They said, we will not tolerate that. Y'all are not going to silence this person who uses her platform for a lot of good just because she made you uncomfortable, right? And a lot of people who didn't even agree with me or align with me or follow me, they saw it as like, hey, this is a scary type of censorship. Whether you like her or not, a platform with over 200,000 followers and millions of views should not disappear overnight because you don't like her and she made you uncomfortable, right? So the way people mobilized, and I actually got a call from a rep at Meta and they apologized for mistakenly suspending my account and they reinstated me. But that is because the community stepped up and they demanded that Meta reinstate me. And I personally haven't seen that happen to another social media personality. So I would say that moment for me now is ascending because it is propelling me into different spaces. And it opened up a lot of people's eyes to, hey, this level of control over the media and this level of censorship is scary. Whether you like her or not, this is a country where we are supposed to have freedom of speech. You cannot delete an entire Black activist because she made you uncomfortable. So I would say that moment now, I'm actually in the middle of another ascending moment because that opened up so many people's eyes. So I'm going to see where it takes them for sure. But what I would say would be my last word is a lot of people, even bigger creators, I saw bigger Black creators watched that situation and it scared the shit out of them. And they were
Mm,
like, see, this is why I don't entertain it. This is why I just block the racism. This is why I don't call them out because they're not about to do that to me. But that's exactly what the fuck they want you to do. They want
mhm.
you to be silent. That's what lynchings were. It was
Right,
literally a digital lynching. They made
right,
an example out of me and harassed me and mass reported me until my platform was gone overnight. And that's exactly why they hung them in the town square instead of
right.
privately, because they want to make an example in front of all the other Negroes that you better behave or this is going to happen. So I want to tell anybody who's listening and watching, don't at all let them scare you like that. Keep using your voice, and I'm going to keep using mine.
You, man, that was a lot. That was a lot, and we thank you, right? We thank you. I don't think I've had a conversation with an ascending guest with these many goosebumps. Because my spirit is ignited, right? My spirit feels like that I'm connecting with every Black woman, Black person who gives a damn about us, right? And so and you, that's what you're given, and I respect you and I thank you so much. I want people to and we're gonna chop this up and put it out there, and I'm gonna use Mark's platform on YouTube, the post to talk about the events that you have coming up and to get his people to more follow you as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, I was just about, yeah, because we didn't put the threads up. So on the screen is your threads
Yeah,
account.
it's just my first name everywhere. I'm
Yeah,
B. Keandria on every
yeah,
platform.
yeah. Nah, sis, we appreciate you. We love you. We lift you up. We thank you for your time this morning. And like my grandmother says, this is not goodbye, but so long for now. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Have a good one, sis.
You too.
Okay. Wow, fam, that was powerful. That was powerful. Thank you to my team for getting in contact with her to bring her on. I want to remind folks that you are watching Ascending on Marc Lamont Hill Network. If you're on Twitter, thank you. If you are on YouTube, thank you, thank you. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and switch over to YouTube. That's how you support this movement. We are live every single Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I am April R. Silver. That was Keandria. Definitely follow her, and we'll continue to get the word out about her stuff. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Like that, hit that like button, YouTubers. If you're on YouTube, do that. We have another guest. And guys, at the end, I want to go over maybe some of the comments or whatever, but we have another guest, family. We have a return guest here at Ascending. We have that we'll bring on in just a moment, Donna Hill. Donna Hill is our segment special guest. She is the executive director of the Center for Black Literature at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, New York. Medgar Evers College, a part of the CUNY system here in the city of New York. The 18th National Black Writers Conference. Y'all, if y'all been watching, y'all know we've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. That conference is happening this coming Wednesday, March 25th. And who we're going to bring on is the executive director. You should watch all the way to the end because we're giving away tickets to this conference, compliments of AKILA work songs and compliments of the Center for Black Literature. So let's welcome to the stage, the ascending stage, the executive director, Donna Hill. Ah, there you are. Hey. Oh, wow. We don't hear you. Uh-oh. Guys, let's get on her. Is it her camera? Why? I don't hear you. Donna, you were speaking and looks like you were on mute. Oh. So I see that you're not on mute, but I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Producers, I need a verbal. Do we ask her to go out and come in? Okay,
Yes.
good. We got you now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure all your other windows and tabs are closed or whatever. Make sure we don't have any feedback or anything like that. But
Yes, ma'am.
welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Excellent. Excellent. I am energized. I'm feeling really, really good. It's really a really sweet life to not live in fear. You know, it's a sweet life to not live in fear and to know that this legacy freedom fighting work that we do ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. So that feels good. So talk
Yes.
about freedom fighting. You get to do that through words and books, best-selling author that you are, and now you're the executive director of the Center for Black Literature, and you got a big conference coming up. Tell us about it. Tell us
Oh
about.
my goodness, April, you've been part of this process, for years, even before I came in sort of like officially. So you know that what comes out is a result of all of the people who are behind the curtain, you know. So this, of course, is the 18th National Black Writers Conference. And our topic this year is expanding conversations on environmental justice, popular culture, resilience, and peace. So it's a broad topic, but it's all about how we as Black artists across all genres contribute to and sustain us through our work, the work that is being done through books, through film, through poetry, through art, and why it's so important that our voices are continually heard in these different spaces. So we've brought together a massive array of outstanding scholars, popular authors. For the very first time this year, we're actually hosting a student panel that's going to be talking about young people's advocacy on and how popular culture influences what it is that they do. And of course, our opening night is Nicole Hannah-Jones, author of the 1619 Project. Whoever doesn't know, now you know. And Michael Harriot's, Black AF, the unwhitewashed truth of, America. I had the pleasure of interviewing Michael a couple of weeks ago, and he is just like totally amazing. And if you have not gotten his book, you need to put that on your reading it right now list. So he and Nicole Hannah-Jones will be opening our program on Wednesday evening at 1650 Bedford Avenue. The program begins at 6. Of course, we're going to open our program with drumming and libations. Call out and respect our ancestors before we begin, because without them, where would we be? We wouldn't be here, right? And the conversation is going to be led by none other than Dr. Brenda Green, who is the founder of the Center for Black Literature. So I have the pleasure of being able to introduce her, and I'm going to say some things that are going to make her
Right.
feel way.
She's worthy of sweet things. And we talk about the Center for Black Literature here on Ascending on a regular basis. We talk about Dr. Brenda Green, who we yet to have on the show. Got to get her on the show.
Really?
We have not had her as yet, because you know why? Last year when you were on, like around this time last year, one could have easily made the decision that Dr. Green talk about the conference, but she had technically already retired.
Right.
And so I wanted to pay homage to the new leadership at the institution, the Center for Black Literature. And so we went with you for good reason, right? But we always reference her. We always shout out her website, all those things, because as the founder of the Center for Black Literature at Medgar Evers College, she's due her flowers. So now we got to get her to come on and one of her amazing current projects that she's doing.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, we'll definitely do that. We've talked about on this show that the Center for Black Literature, again at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, was co-founded, is fair to say, and led by John Oliver Killens in 1986.
Right.
And is necessarily the whole intellectual and conceptual uh, pillars of this institution is about centering Black writers. You are a New York Times bestselling and Essence bestselling author yourself. In this day and time, can you give us some commentary about the importance of Black writers in 2026 during this regime, the second term, but in second year of this current regime that we're living under?
Well, it goes, I think, without saying that now, more than any other time, in our current lifetime, that Black literature is the centerpiece and the voice that will sustain us. They have tried to erase us out of museums. 600,000 Black women have lost their jobs. Getting rid of the woman who ran the Lisa Cook from the Library of Congress. So across the board, our work, our contributions are systematically being erased, right? But as Toni Morrison says, that writing is activism, right? Baldwin says the same thing. Writing is activism. What we do, whether it is, literary fiction, or whether it's essays, or whether it's our little paperbacks, okay? We are telling our stories, and those things will remain. For Black writers, there was this big, surge, 10, 15 years ago, oh, Black folks read. Well, all of the big publishers said, well, let's have a Black imprint, and put the Black people over here. And so now writers have found that I don't even need these big houses anymore. I can be just as successful, hit those lists, build that audience without them. I can do this on my own. And that is the core of who we have always been. We have found a way out of no way all the time. They gave us scraps and we figured out how to, make fried chicken and, collard greens and all of this stuff. And so Black writers inherently have, I believe, that same DNA of finding a way around these obstacles that have been set up for us to silence us. And so we have, a plethora of writers, young writers coming up now across the board that are continuing to tell our stories. And there was a period of time where we had, hundreds of Black bookstores, and slowly they closed because they got eaten up by, the big box stores. But now they're all coming back. We have more and more Black bookstores around the country than we've had in close to 10 years. We have Black bookstores in Brooklyn. At one point, they were like 2. And so our voices are there. We're making statements. We're showing up. We have our own conferences for Black writers. And so the Center for Black Literature, when we have our conferences, it's a clarion call. Come on out and hear what these writers are doing. What are we saying? How are we cementing our history on the page? And there's something for everyone.
I absolutely love that, Donna. You always, always, always bring the clarity with the specifics, and everything you said is making me remember why the Center for Black Literature is so important, founded some 20-something years ago, because there's an elders writing workshop,
Yes.
Of which I have been a part of, helping when I was the director of communications, helping to promote it. I've been on those Zooms with those elders, and that is absolutely one of my favorite programs at the Center for Black Literature. Like, you've got to be over 60 or 65. You know what I mean? At the same time, there's a youth program, right? There's the ROLL program, ROLL, when you're in the schools in New York City, talking to and building with and teaching and pouring into young people. And now you are announcing that there's a student panel at the National Black Writers Conference, where everybody who's Black writers know this is where you got to be. My point is to say, Donna, to illuminate for the audience, just because I'm so passionate about this, there's something for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so interesting when people always talk about the elders writing, the Dr. Edith Wright elders writing program.
Yes.
I was the coordinator at one point. So I would go in and when they were in person, and these women, I was just like, the stories that they would tell, I was just like, oh my God, you all are embarrassing me. I'm this young kid dealing with these elders and their stories, but it was amazing, and working with them and hearing where they've come from, their migration, here to New York from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. And so one of the things, being a writer, one of the things I wanted to do was, okay, we're not just going to sit here and just every week, we're just going to write something and share it and write it. The idea is get your work out, right? You have stories that you can share with the world. So while I work with them, they actually produce their first collection of stories, and they've been doing it ever since. So that is like a wonderful thing. And so we're looking forward to the stories that they're going to tell. And when they come to the conference, their stories center around our theme also. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what they have to offer. the role program, which you mentioned, we deal with the little ones all the way up to high school.
Right.
So it's that full circle. So it's everybody from, first grade up to our grandmothers and great grandmothers that the
Yeah.
Center for Black Literature embraces.
Right. And pulling out the writer in us. And you don't have to be, being a writer doesn't mean that you're published, on any of the book publishing. It could be self-published. It could mean that it's just your journal. You know what I mean? To be a writer. We want to give people the website, the Center for Black Literature. We're going to put that on the screen. The conference is March 25th through the 28th at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn. I am so happy to say that AKILA Works On is offering tickets. Uh, Wait, I gotta say this. And I know we're going a little bit longer than we wanted to, but there's no place on the planet Earth. There is no place on the planet Earth that you can get all of this richness, the panels, the workshops, the vendors, the independent book. Some of the best African clothing that I've ever bought was purchased in the halls of Medgar Evers College because of the vendors, the body butters, all of the things. It's a wonderful marketplace, and you can do all of that for the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th, 4 days for $50. Grand total. What the hell?
And
4 days.
And if you say, well, I can't come for the whole 4 days, do I still need? We have on site, if you come in person and you can only come Saturday or you can only come Friday, $15 in person for 1 day only, if that's what you want to do.
You got to be there.
Well, you have to come in person. If you have not registered in advance and you can only come for 1 day and you want to come for that day, you can come, register there, and pay your $15. Can't beat it with a stick.
You can't beat it with a stick. Or you can go to centerforblackLiterature.org. Hint, hint, guys. CenterforblackLiterature.org. Register now and get all 4 days with Nicole Hannah Jones and Michael Harriet and all these wonderful people and the honoree for $50. My God, that's nothing, because we know that conferences cost hundreds of dollars a day. So thank you. Thank you to every single person who has poured into this organization before Dr. Green, before you, just the whole idea of it. Thank you. I'm getting excited. Y'all know how I feel about books and writing. But if you, let's put this on the on the screen, guys. If you email us and say, I want to go to the conference, you can email on and this is on behalf of the Center for Black Literature, and we're going to offer comps as well. The Center for Black Literature and AKILA Work Songs. You got to email us that you like the tickets. Go ahead and follow Center for Black Lit right now on IG. Center, the number 4, Black Lit on Instagram. Follow on Facebook. Go to the website and join the email list. Do all the things so that we can support this institution. Donna, did we leave out anything super critical that you want to share with us before you go?
Well, one thing I do want to say is that I want your listeners, people who are watching, who are listening, that, though this is a nominal fee, all of these little fees help us to do the great big work that we do. So when you buy a ticket or when you make a donation to the center, because you can't come at all, you can still donate. Those things help us do all of this work.
Right.
So we really appreciate whatever it is that you can do.
Yes. CenterforblackLiterature.org is on the screen. CenterforblackLiterature.org is where you can go register, where you can donate, because we all about building up Black institutions, and we need your help. We need your help. We need you to not just feel good about this. If you got $5, that $5 is a lot. If you got 500, that's a lot too. We don't want people to be like, I only got $5. I only got $10. I promise you, it's $5 and $10 more than the center had the day before you gave it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Every little dollar counts.
It really does. That's not just a saying.
Yeah,
It's,
it's true.
it's the truth. Donna, we love you. We appreciate you. The entire team, Leah, Charlotte, Amber, the volunteers, the interns, everybody whose names I'm not remembering right now who pour into it, and the writers themselves.
Yes.
We thank you so much. So we'll coordinate with you to get the names of those people who are comps. So
Okay.
thank you so much. So you're in the top tier, Donna. This is your second time on the show. Then we got to have, because somebody told me you got another book coming out, another one.
I do. I do. Can I pitch my book real quick?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yay. So I have a book coming out in November. November 10th is coming out from Amistad. The title is Nola and Baldwin, and it takes place shortly after the Great Depression. And this young couple is traversing American history on the rails because my male character is a Pullman porter. And as many of people may or may not know, the Pullman porters were essential to the building of the Black middle class.
Absolutely.
So it's their journey, it's their love story. You're going to get some history. You're going to see them travel across the country. And it's a really good book. It's really great. It's coming out November 10th.
We gotta have you back just for that. I didn't do you justice. Like, you've written 50 million books, bestsellers. They've been turned into movies and all the things. This is book number what for you, Donna? Can you even remember? This is book number what?
It's I would count. Somebody told me to count the other day. It's over 100. I have over 100 titles published. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Over 100 titles published. When you were here last week, I'm gonna shut up because I know we got to go. When you were here last week, last year, you were like, you can't call yourself a writer and you don't write. That hit
Right.
me. I knew that intellectually, but it's something about someone who had, all of these books out and a best-selling author. When you said it last year, I was like, ouch. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
A
can't call
writer,
yourself
right?
a writer writes. Like, we know it, we hear it, but sometimes, hearing it at that certain moment helps. Like, the book is not going to write itself. The essay is not going to write itself. So thank you, Donna, so much. You have my word. We will have you back so we can just brag on you. And for those who don't know, Donna is a foremother, if you will, in the genre of, is it fair to say Black romance? Is that, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
a foremother, a foremother.
Donna,
Yeah.
could you say the name of the book again?
Nola and Baldwin.
So it's Nola, Nola,
Yes.
all capitals or just
No, that's
like
her name.
like a
Nola.
name, like a name.
It's
Okay.
a name,
All
right?
right. Thank you.
Not
Good,
New
good.
Orleans, Louisiana. It's Nola.
Yeah, I got that. I caught that. Thank you. But for real, before your launch date, we'll have you back and like you as the featured guest to talk about all of your amazing books and remind us what a writer looks like coming out in November 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you Wednesday and all next week.
Yes, please be there. Be there. Keep telling your friends and telling their friends and come on and show up and show out.
It's something about being in person. This is not a virtual event, folks. This is an in-person event, and it's something about the creativity and the energy that one gets when one is breathing the same air with other like-minded spirits. I promise you, you will elevate. People come from all over the country to be at Mega Everest College whenever there is the National Black Writers Conference. So, Donna, we wish you well. We thank you so much for your untold sacrifices. We will see you next week.
Thank you so much, April.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, family, we're gonna close out. This was a little bit hard to do, close out because y'all know I just get excited about these things, but it gives me life in this world. We want to close out with reminding you about supporting Marc Lamont Hill, this independent Black media movement. We want to let you know that you can book Marc to come to your place, to come to your event. Um, we've booked for Marc, right? We're business partners in addition to doing this work. So contact Drake. Um, Drake at AKILA Work Songs. That's the email address. Yep, you can leave it back on the screen. Bring Marc Lamont Hill to your event. Contact Drake. The email address is drake at akilaworksongs.com. I'm available for speaking engagements as well. You can contact Drake there at that email again, drake at akilaworksongs.com. I want to invite you to follow me on social media. My social media is April R. Silver. The website is AKILA Work Songs. Looks like we're having a little, there we go. The website, the social media, April R. Silver and AKILA Work Songs everywhere. There's social media. There we are, except TikTok. On purpose, we're not on TikTok. And the website is akilaworksongs.com. Everybody, next week we're going to be talking about the Stevie Wonder project that I'm a part of. Oh my God, it's coming to BAM. We're going to have Daryl McNeil from the, where is he? Black Rock Coalition. I just drew a blank. Daryl McNeil is returning to Ascending. He'll be here next week, the 28th, to talk about the 3-day celebration of Stevie Wonder in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. The tickets are on sale, and we haven't said a word. We are almost close to the capacity, and we haven't officially said a word about the 3-day celebration of Stevie Wonder. 5 albums, 3 days, 1 living legend. So stay tuned for next week. That's what we're going to be talking about. And in the meantime, tell everybody we're here every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. You don't have to watch us live. You can watch us on Sunday because the YouTube playlist is active and is full with 55 episodes of Ascending. So family, in the meantime, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell everybody about this work that we're doing. Comment in the comments because that forces YouTube to be like, hey, we like this show. So on that note, family, I want to thank you so much. Have a wonderful spring. We'll see you next week. Stay up.